Hello everybody, this is Terry Jeanette with the Tapping Flamingo. Today's video is a create with me using some of the things that I got from June 2021's subscription box from Curated Bead Box, Enchanted Forests. If you would like to see everything that was in the subscription box for this month, I'll put a link up here for you to click on so you can check that out. Two of the items that were in there were these gemstone 6mm strands. They're just under 8 inches, and I'm thinking they're going to really make a good bracelet. I've never made a stretch bracelet before, but they did put in some cording for you to make stretch bracelets, so we're going to try to do that. The first set of beads I'm going to use are these. I actually really like these. In fact, both these beads. I would have to say this is probably my favorite thing in the box this month. But when I looked at these, I'm like, those look like something that maybe you would see in the ocean. And I have this shell charm that I want to hang off of it. And I was doing some research on how to make stretch bracelets, and I was told by some of the video people, some of you YouTubers out there that make these, that it's nice to get a bead that's got a little bit bigger hole so you can hide your knot. So that is why I've chosen this bead. The first thing we need to do is put a split ring on this shell charm for two reasons. One reason, you don't want your shell hanging sideways, because that's basically what it's going to be doing. You want it to hang this way. Also, when you use a split ring, more than likely you're not going to lose your charm. These little guys, I love this tool, and they make it so easy to put your charm onto a split ring. The next thing I need to do is cut all these beads off of this strand. And I have a pretty small wrist. From what I understand, I probably need to have about 7 inches of beads. So let me measure those out. So I measured out about 6.5 inches because I do have a smaller wrist. And when I did that, I found that we've got about 24 beads. So we have 12 beads on this side, and then the charm will go, and another 12 beads on this side. So the next thing I want to do is kind of make sure that each side is going to be the colors I want. This one seems to have a lot more lighter colors and on this side, and this darker, so maybe I'll just kind of switch the beads over a little bit and have more of a uniform look instead of all the darks on one side and all the lights on the other. The next thing I want to do is stretch out my cord. I was going to cut this, but I don't think I'm going to, because I'm just going to keep it on here. I tend to work better without cutting my cords. And I think the reason they have you stretching the cord is so that you'll get all the stretchiness out before you put your piece together. If you don't stretch it out and you put your piece together and then you wear it, it's going to stretch out. So you want that before you get it put together. So then after that, I'm just going to assemble my bracelet. I now have them all strung up. I did have to add one more bead. I do have small wrists, but I have a lot of swelling issues. I have carpal tunnel and all kinds of hand and wrist issues. And sometimes my wrists do swell a little bit if things are tight. And they don't even have to be really that tight. So I added a little extra bead. So one side's longer than the other, but I think that's going to be okay. So the next thing I was told to do was to tie a knot, just like you're going to tie a knot in a shoe. And I'm going to stretch as you go. Tie another loop-de-loo in there. And they say that it shouldn't break. This is what I've always been afraid of. Now this next loop that I saw somebody do, I'm going to try it. It looked pretty secure to me. She actually took both sides of your cording, wrapped them around her fingers, put them in through the bracelet, and looped it through that opening and pulled it tight. Got to make sure it goes where you want it though. And I want it on between this bead and that bead. And then she said to do this. I hope this is working. So I have that all done, but I think I'm going to glue it here. Some people say you don't need to glue it, but you know what? I want to make sure this is secure. And once I get it glued, I'm going to feed it into that bead right there and you won't be able to see it. I've got them all done. They're drying. I actually use the E6000 glue, which is going to take several hours for it to actually dry and cure. So I'm going to let them sit here. And then tomorrow I'm going to put them on and I'll be wearing them around to see if these are actually as durable as everybody says they are. By the way, I still have quite a bit of stretch cording, and these are the beads I have left. Not quite enough to make one of these, but I have plenty to make something else that's fun.